Good morning, TGO traders and investors. Matt Buckley, call sign Whiz, the primary and weekly options model portfolio manager here at TGO, and obviously front page, literally around the world, folks. Speaking to some of the folks from Macquarie over in Japan. All the world's waiting with bated breath for what's going on here in the United States. Now, obviously, the House yesterday, surprise, surprise, ditched their proposal. With kind of that Tea Party faction, whatever faction you want to call it, and no matter what you think of these people, good, bad, neutral, they're sticking to their guns. So there's something to be said for that. They are throwing in the flag, saying that, you know what, we're broke. And there's no time like the present to fix our current fiscal problems. Now, again, it kind of sucks using the threat of default to really, as the president would say, our anti-gun president would say, holding a gun to the head of the American people. But how else do we solve our problems? How else, other than an earth-shattering event, is going to shake this president and members of his party to the fact that we're broke? This entire country is broke. It's one big Ponzi scheme, from Social Security to now the just absolute train wreck, that's a Democrat word, of Obamacare. So it's going to be very interesting to see how today plays out. Futures are indicating up, which is shocking, especially since yesterday, everybody thought a deal would get done, and it didn't. So be very careful. As we've talked about before, War Games, folks, a great movie in the 80s, great line. The only winning move is not to play sometimes. So I am sitting on my hands on a day like today. There could be a huge rally. There could be a huge implosion if there isn't a deal done tonight. And nobody's really talking about the potential secondary effects of our increased borrowing costs down the road, because literally the Chinese have been poking us in the chest, from their premier to their state-run media, saying, and they're our banker, right, folks? First of all, they own us. Second of all, they're hacking into everything that's not nailed down and stealing it, from the plans for the Joint Strike Fighter to hacking into Goldman Sachs email accounts and trading on the information that they're reading. But I digress. But what about our borrowing costs down the road? This has really made us look like a clown car, and the, quote, full faith and credit of the United States is now a little, leaves people scratching their head, that whole sentence. Do they have full faith in the credit of the United States? I certainly don't, and I live here, and I served this country for 15 years. Other than that, Mrs. Lincoln, how was the play? We have a ton of earnings coming out, especially today, seeing a lot of financial earnings. Bank of America, PNC, Key Corp, Commercia, however the hell you say that, BNY Mellon, lot of financials today. American Express is a big one. American Express has been channeling for a little while here. Nice looking potential iron condor candidate, but we have a ton of earnings coming out, but kind of overshadowed by what's going on with the debt. Later this afternoon, though, and again, nobody really cares, but I care. I'm going to be taking a look at the Beige book. The Fed's Beige book is coming out this afternoon. I'm going to read their cliff notes of what the Fed's thinking, so that should be pretty interesting. Also getting some housing sentiment, the National Association of Home Builders, to see what they're thinking as far as the housing market. But this is going to be it's going to be very interesting, folks, to see how this plays out. We're going to be doing a live trading webinar tomorrow for our urgent alerts. So make sure you join me at 3 o'clock to see how I'm trading this potential default, right? Tomorrow is the day, quote unquote, that Jack Lew, our Treasury Secretary, says that we run out of extraordinary measures. So let's see if the guy's right. If we can. And that's what's crazy, folks. I know you run your house like this, your business like this. When cash is an issue, you prioritize your payments. Who needs to get paid first? And apparently our gargantuan bureaucracy can't operate like that, right? We can only blast out money to everybody or not. Here's a thought. Why don't we stop paying foreign aid to countries like Egypt, or even for a while there, Syria, and countries that want to kill us? How about we stop payments to those type of countries and start focusing at home? But again, I digress. So click on the link in this email to register for tomorrow's live trading webinar, where I'm going to share with you the tactics that I'm using to trade around this extremely volatile time, because there are tactics for every condition in the market. Okay, not one size fits all. Like I'm just going to trade this for the rest of my life. You have got to broaden your horizon with the different types of tactics for the different market conditions. When all you have is a hammer, everything looks like a nail, right? Well, not so. We have a huge toolkit here at Top Gun Options. I'm going to share a couple of those tools, tactics with you tomorrow at 3. So click on the link in this email to register. Have fun watching the clown card today. Get your popcorn ready, and I'll see you guys tomorrow afternoon at 3. Happy hunting and make sure you hedge.